Chosen one, stop everything for the next few minutes. Do not move past this. Do not treat this as another message. Heaven did not interrupt your attention by accident, and your spirit already knows something unusual is happening around you. This is a red alert. Not because God is angry with you, not because you are being punished, but because the blessing you prayed for has already moved. Listen carefully. Archangel Michael has been assigned near the doorway of this blessing. That means protection has been released. That means heaven is not silent. That means what is coming toward you is not small, casual, or ordinary. But there is one final thing God is warning you about before it reaches your hands. Stay with me. I am not asking for your distracted attention. I am asking for the part of you that still knows when a message is speaking directly into your life. You have felt it all week. Something has been close. Something has been pressing against the atmosphere around you. And even when nothing visible changed, your spirit kept whispering, something is about to happen. You tried to ignore that feeling. You called it anxiety. You called it exhaustion. You called it another emotional wave. But deep inside, you knew this was different, because the heaviness did not feel like defeat. It felt like pressure before a door opened. You could not explain it. You could only feel it. And that feeling was not random. Chosen one, your massive blessing has arrived, but your hands must be ready to receive it. This is the warning. A gift can be released from heaven while the receiver is still standing in an old posture. A door can open while the person who prayed for it is still dressed for survival. And that is why this message found you before the final movement. You have been tired in a strange way. Not just sleepy, not just busy. It has been a tiredness in your bones, the kind that makes even simple tasks feel heavier than they should. You wake up and your body is already carrying something. You try to move normally, but your spirit knows the weight is not normal. There have been moments when you felt pulled away from everyone. You could be in the same room with people and still feel far from them. You could answer messages, smile, and do what needed to be done. But inside you felt like heaven had placed you behind a veil. You were present, but separated. You were visible, but unseen. That separation was not rejection. Hear me clearly. It was not God forgetting you. It was not proof that you were falling behind. Many times, when a blessing is about to arrive, heaven begins separating the receiver from every voice that would confuse the instruction. God will quiet a room before he opens a door that changes everything. You have also been noticing strange timing. Certain words keep repeating. Certain numbers catch your eyes. Certain songs feel like answers. People from the past cross your mind for no reason, and conversations seem to confirm things you have not spoken aloud. It is as if heaven is surrounding you with fragments, and your spirit is trying to assemble the message. Do not dismiss that. You are not imagining everything. You are not too sensitive. You are not dramatic. Your spirit is picking up the movement before your eyes can see the result, and that is why your inner world has felt louder than your outer life. Something has been approaching you in silence. But there is also another sign. You have felt resistance. Every time peace tries to settle on you, something comes to disturb it. A small fear rises. An old memory returns. A person says the wrong thing at the wrong time. And suddenly, instead of preparing to receive, you find yourself preparing to defend. That is the hidden danger. The enemy does not always need to stop the blessing. Sometimes he only needs to make you stand in the wrong posture when it arrives. He knows you are tired. He knows you have been disappointed before. He knows you have learned to expect delay. So he attacks your receiving before he attacks your blessing. Chosen one. This is why God is speaking with urgency. The blessing is not far away. The blessing is not lost. The blessing is not still wandering somewhere in the distance. But there is a version of you that learned how to survive disappointment, and that version must not be allowed to answer the door this time. You have been carrying a silent question. What if this does not happen either? What if I believed again for nothing? What if I get close again and still lose it? That question has been sitting under your prayers. And even when your mouth says you trust God, your nervous system sometimes prepares for another heartbreak. I need you to hear this with your whole spirit. God is not offended by your fear. He understands why it formed. He saw every door that closed without explanation. He saw every person who made promises and vanished. He saw the moments when you tried to stay hopeful, but your heart quietly became tired of being brave. But understanding your fear is not the same as letting it lead. This is the hour where God is asking you to stop letting old pain interpret new provision. The blessing coming now is not shaped like the last disappointment. This door is not the same as the door that embarrassed you before. This time, heaven has already gone ahead of you. That is why Archangel Michael appears in the atmosphere of this message, not to frighten you, not to make you feel small, but to remind you that protection has been assigned to what God is sending. When the warfare becomes louder, it is often because the delivery has come closer. The noise is not proof that the blessing failed. Look at what has been happening. You feel sudden pressure, then sudden peace. You feel tired, then strangely hopeful. You feel like crying, but you do not always know why. And sometimes, in the middle of an ordinary moment, you feel a quiet certainty rise inside you that says, it is closer than you think. That certainty is not your imagination. It is your spirit recognizing movement. You are sensing the arrival before the manifestation. You are hearing the footsteps before the door opens. You are feeling heaven shift furniture in rooms you have not entered yet, because God has been preparing spaces that your current life cannot explain. But here is what you must not miss. A massive blessing can feel uncomfortable at first, not because it is wrong, not because it is dangerous, but because it asks you to become larger than the version of yourself that learned how to shrink. It asks you to stop apologizing for being chosen. It asks you to receive without guilt. This is where many chosen ones struggle. You can fight well, you can endure well. You can survive betrayal, silence, delay, and spiritual warfare. But receiving can feel harder than battling, because battle became familiar while blessing feels unknown. You know how to keep going with little. You are still learning how to stand when much is placed in your hands. God says the blessing is coming for you, but He also says your heart must stop rehearsing loss. Your spirit must stop expecting the door to close before it opens. Your mouth must stop speaking as if delay has more authority than heaven. You cannot enter a new season while still honoring the fear of the old one. Take a breath. Let those words land. You are not being attacked because you are weak. You are being shaken because something strong is being transferred into your life. The pressure around you is not the end. It is the sound of an old structure losing permission to hold you. You have wondered why certain relationships became tense. You wondered why familiar places started feeling uncomfortable. You wondered why things that used to entertain you now feel empty. That is not confusion. That is separation. God is pulling your appetite away from what cannot travel with you into the next level. And yes, it has felt lonely. It has felt unfair. It has felt like you were being removed before you understood where you were being sent. But heaven does not always explain separation before it begins. Sometimes God removes your comfort first, because comfort would argue with the blessing when it arrives. This is why you could not settle this week. Your spirit kept pacing. Your mind kept returning to the same question. Your sleep may have been broken. Your dreams may have felt heavy. You may have woken up between 3 and 4 in the morning with a strange alertness, as if someone had called your name without sound. Chosen one, that was not empty restlessness. Your spirit was being summoned into awareness. God was not trying to torment you. Heaven was trying to wake the part of you that had become numb from waiting. Because when a blessing comes after long delay, the first miracle is not the gift. The first miracle is believing again. Some of you have been afraid to say it out loud, but you feel like something is about to happen. You feel it when you are washing your hands. You feel it when you are driving. You feel it when the room goes quiet. And then fear comes quickly, trying to cover that expectation before it can grow. Do not let fear bury the signal. Do not let old disappointment silence the witness inside you. The same spirit that warned you about wrong people is now trying to prepare you for right timing. The same discernment that sensed danger is now sensing arrival. This is not just caution anymore. This is confirmation. But the warning remains. If you keep calling yourself stuck, you will stand like someone stuck. If you keep calling yourself forgotten, you will move like someone forgotten. If you keep calling yourself too late, you will look at an open door and still believe it is locked. Your language must come into alignment. This does not mean you pretend. It does not mean you deny what hurt. It does not mean you force yourself to act excited while your heart is still healing. It means you stop giving your pain permission to prophesy over your future. What happened to you was real, but it is not your final authority. Heaven is not asking you to become loud. Heaven is asking you to become positioned. There is a difference. Loud people chase proof. Positioned people receive instruction. Loud people panic when things move slowly. Positioned people know that when God delays visibility, He is often strengthening the foundation beneath the blessing. You are being positioned now. That is why the pressure increased. That is why distractions came suddenly. That is why people who normally ignore you started acting strange. That is why your emotions felt closer to the surface. Your old life is reacting to the fact that your new season has started moving. Do not be surprised if the enemy uses small irritations to pull you out of peace. A message, a comment, a memory, a bill, a delay, a tone in someone's voice. He does not need a giant attack if he can make you step out of alignment through a tiny wound. But today, you are being warned before you react. You are being protected before you answer. You are being called back into stillness before you hand your peace to something that cannot bless you. This is not the day to prove yourself to people who only recognize your value after they need you. Your blessing requires your peace. Not perfect peace, not fake peace, but surrendered peace. The kind that says, I may not see every detail yet, but I will not let fear govern my next response. I may still feel trembling, but trembling will not be my teacher anymore. Listen closely. The final thing God is warning you about is not just an outside enemy. It is not only a jealous person. It is not only a spiritual attack. Those things may exist, but they are not the deepest issue. The deeper issue is the posture you choose when blessing stands close enough to make fear speak. You ask God for open doors. Now God is asking for an open heart. You asked for increase. Now God is asking you to release the identity that only knew lack. You asked for confirmation. Now heaven is confirming that the delay was not denial, but you must not carry denial into the place of arrival. This is the moment where you stop negotiating with the version of you that expects abandonment. That version protected you for a season. It helped you survive. It kept you cautious when people were careless with your trust. But it cannot lead you into a massive blessing because it only knows how to guard wounds. God is not condemning that version of you. He is gently asking it to step down. The survivor in you served a purpose, but the receiver in you must rise now. The fighter kept you alive. The receiver will help you walk into what heaven already released. Do you feel the shift in that? This is not about begging anymore. This is not about trying to force a door open. This is about recognizing that God has already moved, and your next assignment is to stop standing like someone who has never been chosen. You have been chosen longer than you have been afraid. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not too damaged to receive. The blessing coming toward you is not confused by your scars, because God saw those scars before He released it. Heaven did not make a mistake when your name was attached to this season. But before I reveal why heaven waited until the blessing was already at the door before warning you, you must understand one thing. The last battle before arrival is often not against the door. It is against the old belief that you are safer outside of it. Stay with me. The next part will show you why delay was not punishment, but protection. Chosen one, the delay was not punishment. Let that enter your spirit slowly. The delay was protection. The door did not stay closed because heaven forgot your name. It stayed guarded because God was keeping you from entering a room before your identity was strong enough to survive what waited inside it. You thought God was withholding. You thought you had done something wrong. You thought maybe your prayers were not clean enough, strong enough, or consistent enough. But many times, the blessing is ready before the receiver is ready. And the mercy of God is that He will not let a gift destroy the person He loves. This is where you must let your mind be renewed. Delay does not always mean denial. Silence does not always mean absence. Closed doors do not always mean rejection. Sometimes a closed door is heaven standing in front of something you wanted, because God saw the hidden cost before you ever touched the handle. You wanted the relationship. God saw the spirit behind it. You wanted the opportunity. God saw the trap attached to it. You wanted the increase. God saw the version of you that would have felt guilty for receiving it. And because He loves you, He slowed the timing until your soul could stop apologizing for being chosen. That is why this message is not here to make you panic. It is here to correct the way you interpret the waiting. You were not abandoned in the hallway. You were being dressed for the room. You were not forgotten in the wilderness. You were being stripped of every false identity that could not enter the promised place with you. Look back with honesty. Some doors you cried over would have drained you. Some people you begged God to keep would have eaten the blessing out of your hands. Some opportunities you thought were missed were actually traps wearing the clothing of answers. You did not lose everything you thought you lost. Heaven removed what could not carry your next level. This is why your spirit has felt torn. One part of you wants to celebrate. Another part keeps scanning for danger. One part hears heaven saying, "Receive." Another part remembers the last time you trusted and got wounded. And between those two parts, your body has been carrying a tension your words could not explain. You are not weak for feeling that tension. You are human. You are healing. You are learning to receive after seasons where receiving felt unsafe. But God is not asking you to stay loyal to the version of you that survived the storm. He is asking you to recognize that survival was a chapter, not your final identity. Chosen one, this is the shift. You do not have to fight for what God has already released. You have to stand in the posture that agrees with it. You have to stop rehearsing rejection as if rejection is your prophet. You have to stop letting old evidence argue with new grace. The old season was real, but it is not Lord over this moment. Some of you have been praying for a sign while standing inside one. The strange dreams were a sign. The sudden separation was a sign. The pressure in your chest was a sign. The repeated confirmations were a sign. The discomfort around old environments was a sign. Heaven has been speaking, but pain has been trying to translate the message for you. Pain is a loud translator. It turns protection into rejection. It turns waiting into humiliation. It turns preparation into punishment. And if you do not interrupt it, pain will take a blessing sent by God and convince you that it is another setup for heartbreak. That is why clarity matters so much in this hour. Some chosen ones do not need more noise. They do not need another complicated ritual. They do not need another person telling them to try harder, while their mind feels crowded and their spirit feels tired. They need clarity again, the kind of inner stillness that helps them recognize the difference between fear speaking and God guiding. This is why, later in this message, I will briefly show you the Genius Song. It is a simple 7-minute audio created to support gamma brainwave activation through brain entrainment, and it is designed for people who feel like their focus, intuition, and inner clarity have been covered by years of stress and survival. Do not worry about that yet. The message comes first. But I want to plant the seed now, because many chosen ones are not losing direction because they lack faith. They are losing direction because the noise around their mind has become so constant that the quiet voice of discernment feels harder to hear than it used to. There was a time when you knew things quickly. You could feel the truth before people explained themselves. You could sense danger before it became visible. You could learn, imagine, create, and connect with a kind of ease that felt natural. Then life became heavy, and slowly, that bright inner signal started feeling buried. You did not lose that part of yourself. It became covered. It became tired. It became trained to scan for threats more than possibilities. And when a chosen one lives too long in survival, even a blessing can feel like danger at first, because the body has learned to prepare for impact instead of arrival. That is why God is not only sending the blessing, He is also restoring your ability to receive it. He is not just changing circumstances around you, He is correcting the inner agreement within you. He is teaching your spirit to stop flinching when favor comes near, and to stop shrinking when heaven places weight in your hands. You must understand this. The blessing coming now is not only about money, love, opportunity, or public recognition. It is about authority. It is about God trusting you with a new measure. It is about heaven saying, "You survived the process, but now you must stop wearing the process like a permanent name." The wilderness was never supposed to become your home. The silence was never supposed to become your identity. The battle was never supposed to become your personality. You passed through those places to be refined, not to build a temple there. And now, heaven is calling you out of the place you learned to endure. This is why old habits have been shaking. You may feel less interested in proving yourself. You may feel less available for drama. You may feel unable to tolerate certain conversations, certain environments, or certain emotional games. That is not pride. That is alignment beginning to protect what prayer has produced. God is teaching you the difference between compassion and access. You can love people without letting them enter every room of your spirit. You can forgive without handing them the keys to your peace. You can bless others without shrinking your own blessing to make them comfortable. This is part of the reframe. For a long time, you may have believed that being chosen meant carrying everything for everyone. You carried emotions that were not yours. You absorbed moods you did not create. You stayed too long in places where your spirit kept warning you to leave. You called it loyalty, but sometimes it was fear of being misunderstood. Now God is breaking that pattern, not because He wants you cold, not because He wants you selfish, but because your massive blessing requires boundaries. Your next season cannot be built on the same exhaustion that marked your last one. If you keep giving access to what drains you, you will call it warfare when it is actually a lack of stewardship. Hear this gently. Stewardship is not rejection. Boundaries are not bitterness. Silence is not hatred. Sometimes silence is the container God uses to protect a blessing before it becomes visible. If you keep explaining every move to people who are not assigned to understand you, you will leak the strength needed for arrival. This is why the enemy tries to pull you into unnecessary conversations right before breakthrough. He wants you defending your heart instead of guarding your peace. He wants you proving your intentions instead of listening to instruction. He wants you tired enough to accept anything that looks like relief, even if it is not from God. But you are waking up now. You are beginning to see the pattern. Every time you get close to a new level, an old voice returns. Every time hope rises, a memory tries to mock it. Every time you feel peace, someone tries to rent space in your mind. That pattern is being exposed because it is losing power. Do not confuse exposure with failure. When God reveals a pattern, He is not shaming you. He is freeing you. He is showing you where the chain is connected so you will stop fighting shadows. And once you see the pattern clearly, the enemy can no longer use it in secret. The delay revealed your attachments. It showed where you were still seeking permission from people who benefited from your smallness. It showed where you were still afraid to receive more than your family expected. It showed where you were still asking for confirmation from voices that never recognized God on your life. That is why the waiting was not wasted. It was diagnostic. It showed you who clapped when you struggled and became silent when you rose. It showed you which doors were invitations and which doors were distractions. It showed you the difference between being needed and being valued. That lesson will protect the blessing. Now you must let God change your expectation. Stop expecting everything to be hard. Stop expecting every promise to come with pain. Stop expecting people to leave as soon as you become honest. Stop expecting heaven to bring you close just to embarrass you. That expectation came from wounds, not from the Father. The Father is not playing games with you. He is not dangling hope to watch you chase it. He is not opening doors so he can mock your desire. If he has allowed this alert to reach you, it is because something has moved in the unseen, and he wants your agreement to match what heaven has already decided. Your agreement matters, not because you control God, not because your words are stronger than his will, but because your posture determines how you respond when the door opens. If you agree with fear, you hesitate. If you agree with shame, you hide. If you agree with heaven, you step forward with trembling faith. Trembling faith still counts. You do not have to feel fearless to obey. You do not have to feel perfect to receive. You do not have to understand every detail to say yes. Many of the greatest doors in Scripture opened while people were still shaking, still learning, and still carrying questions. David did not look like a king when oil touched his head. Joseph did not look like a ruler when the pit swallowed him. Esther did not feel safe when she approached the throne. But heaven does not wait for human comfort before it confirms divine identity. God often names you before your life catches up. That is what is happening here. Heaven is naming you before the evidence becomes obvious. Heaven is calling you blessed before your surroundings understand it. Heaven is calling you ready before your fear agrees. And the final conflict is not whether God can do it. The final conflict is whether you will stop arguing with the name he gave you. You are not the rejected one. You are not the delayed one. You are not the almost one. You are not the one who always gets close and loses. Those are trauma names. Those are wilderness names. Those are names pain wrote on you when you were too tired to resist. But heaven is removing those labels now. Your true name is chosen. Your true name is carried. Your true name is remembered. Your true name is protected. Your true name is receiver of the blessing God prepared before your enemies understood your value. Let that truth rise above every memory that tried to make you feel disqualified. And yes, there will be a part of you that asks, what if I believe and nothing happens? Let that part speak, but do not let it lead. Fear can have a voice without having authority. Pain can be acknowledged without being enthroned. You can honor what you survived without letting it govern what you receive. This is the reframe that changes everything. The delay was not God saying no. The delay was God building capacity. The silence was not heaven turning away. The silence was heaven protecting the instruction from voices that would corrupt it. The separation was not abandonment. The separation was consecration for arrival. Now the question changes. It is no longer, why did it take so long? It becomes, who was I becoming while it took this long? It is no longer, did God forget me? It becomes, what was God protecting in me while I thought nothing was moving? That shift will break the lie of delay, because the truth is, something was moving. You were being purified. You were being trained. You were being delivered from dependence on unstable approval. You were being taught to hear God when crowds went silent. You were being prepared to receive without handing your blessing to people who never paid the price of your process. That is why the next part matters so much. You must see the spiritual pattern behind this moment. You must understand why Michael is connected to protection, why the blessing requires alignment, and why Scripture keeps showing the same truth through people who were chosen long before they were recognized. Stay with me. What comes next will give language to the warfare around your arrival. Chosen one, now you must understand the pattern behind the warning. Heaven does not send protection where nothing is moving. Archangel Michael does not stand near empty doors. When divine protection increases, it means divine transfer has come close enough for the enemy to notice it. The noise around you is evidence of movement. Michael is not appearing in this message to make you afraid. He is appearing as a sign that what God is sending is guarded. Protection has been assigned. Warfare has been noticed. The unseen realm is not confused about your name, and the blessing connected to you has not been misplaced in the heavens. There are moments when God allows the battle to become visible, not because He lost control, but because He wants you to stop calling everything coincidence. The pressure, the strange dreams, the interruptions, the sudden emotional heaviness, all of it has been speaking. You are not only living through a hard week, you are standing near a spiritual crossing. A crossing is the place where an old season can no longer feed you, but the new season has not fully shown its shape. That place can feel confusing. It can make you question everything, but the crossing is not a curse. It is the space where God proves who has been carrying you. Think about David. He was anointed before he was applauded. The oil touched his head while his life still looked ordinary. He returned to fields after heaven had already named him. That is the mystery of divine timing. God can call you king while people still treat you like background. David had to carry a future that did not match his surroundings. He had to keep serving while heaven had already spoken. He had to face a giant before he sat on a throne, and the people around him could not understand him because they were judging him by the field while God was preparing him for the palace. That is you in this season. Something has been placed on your life that your current surroundings cannot explain. People may still see the old role, the old struggle, the old version, but heaven has already spoken over a version of you that they have not met yet. This is why you feel out of place. This is what you must see. The blessing is not only an answer, it is an assignment. God does not only place gifts in your hands, He places responsibility in your spirit. If the blessing is massive, the alignment must be deeper. If the door is great, the posture must be steady. This is why Archangel Michael is connected to this word. Michael represents protection in the middle of conflict. Michael represents divine defense when the battle is beyond human strength. The message is not that you must fight harder. The message is that you must stand cleaner, quieter, and more aligned while heaven handles what you cannot touch. Some battles are not won by explaining. Some battles are not won by chasing people. Some battles are not won by proving you were right. Some battles are won when you refuse to step out of peace just because the enemy invited you into panic. Your silence can become a weapon when God is defending you. Do not underestimate silence. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not confusion. Silence is not surrender to the enemy. There is a holy silence that says, I will not contaminate this blessing with reaction. I will not drag my new season through old arguments. I will not give my energy to battles that God never assigned me to fight. The enemy wants your reaction because your reaction can pull you out of position. He wants you offended. He wants you distracted. He wants you proving. He wants you explaining. He wants you exhausted before the door opens, because he knows a tired receiver may mishandle a heavy blessing. But heaven is calling you back to position. Position is not about looking spiritual. Position is agreement. Position is peace. Position is obedience when fear speaks. Position is refusing to shrink when God calls you higher. Position is saying, I will not let the old season teach me how to receive the new one. This is where spiritual warfare becomes personal. The enemy cannot remove what God has assigned, but he can tempt you to misread the moment. He can make protection feel like rejection. He can make preparation feel like punishment. He can make arrival feel like danger. If he can twist the meaning, he can weaken your response. That is why discernment matters now. Discernment is not suspicion. It is not fear with religious language. It is not assuming everyone is against you. True discernment is quiet, clean, and steady. It does not panic, it perceives. It does not accuse blindly. It listens for the signature of God beneath the noise. You have discernment, but life has made it tired. Too many disappointments can make the spirit suspicious. Too much betrayal can make the mind expect betrayal everywhere. Too much delay can make the heart distrust good news. And when that happens, even a blessing can look like something you need to protect yourself from. This is why clarity must be restored. Later, when I return to the 7-minute audio I mentioned, you will understand why clarity matters so much in a moment like this. Because a chosen one does not only need information, a chosen one needs the inner stillness to recognize instruction when God whispers it. You are entering a moment where loudness will not help you, pressure will not help you, panic will not help you, comparison will not help you. You need the quiet strength that can hear. This is the door, this is the timing, this is the person, this is the step, and this is the distraction to ignore. Chosen one, the blessing coming toward you will require that kind of clarity. It may not arrive in the package you expected. It may not come through the person you imagined. It may not look dramatic at first. Many blessings arrive quietly because God is testing whether you can recognize substance without needing spectacle. David almost looked too small. Joseph almost looked too buried. Esther almost looked too hidden. Moses almost looked too late. But heaven knew what people missed. Heaven knows how to hide greatness until the correct hour. And when the correct hour comes, what was hidden begins to speak without needing permission. Now the blessing has reached the doorway. And the question is not whether heaven can open it. The question is whether you can stand at that doorway without becoming the old version of yourself. Can you receive without apologizing? Can you accept favor without guilt? Can you let God be good to you without waiting for tragedy to balance it? Stay alert, but do not be afraid. Stay quiet, but do not disconnect. Stay humble, but do not shrink. Stay watchful, but do not become suspicious of every good thing. The blessing is not asking you to become careless. It is asking you to become clear. Now you understand why protection has increased. Now you understand why the waiting shaped you. Now you understand why the noise became louder near the door. But stay with me, because the next part is where the warning becomes personal. The thing blocking the blessing is not outside you anymore. Chosen one. Now the warning becomes personal. The thing blocking the blessing is not outside you anymore. It is not only the enemy. It is not only jealous people. It is not only delay. The deeper battle is the old version of you that still feels safer, expecting disappointment than receiving what God has already released. You prayed for the door, but part of you is still dressed for rejection. You asked God for increase, but part of you is still apologizing for needing more. You asked for confirmation, but when heaven sends signs, fear rises and says, "Do not trust this yet." That fear has been louder than you realize. This is the hidden blocker. You have become loyal to survival, not because you wanted to, not because you are weak, but because disappointment trained your body to prepare for loss before blessing could arrive. You learned how to brace. You learned how to endure. You learned how to smile while secretly expecting the door to close again. But this time, God is not asking you to brace. He is asking you to receive. This time, heaven is not asking you to survive another season. Heaven is asking you to step out of the identity that only knew warfare. You cannot carry a massive blessing with hands that are still clenched around old pain. That is why the pressure has felt so intense. The blessing is not fighting you. The old identity is. The survivor in you does not trust ease. The wounded part of you does not trust open doors. The abandoned part of you does not trust favor. So when God moves close, those parts rise up and call arrival dangerous. Hear this clearly. The enemy does not need to steal what God released if he can convince you to reject it before it reaches you. He does not need to close the door if he can make you stand outside it, calling yourself unworthy. He does not need to block the blessing if fear can make you step back. This is the confrontation. You cannot keep calling yourself chosen while living like heaven made a mistake. You cannot keep asking God to bless you while rehearsing every reason you might lose it. You cannot keep saying you trust the Father while letting the last betrayal become the voice that explains your future. God is not angry with you. He is freeing you. He is touching the place where fear disguised itself as wisdom. He is exposing the agreement you made with delay after too many things took too long. And now he is saying, that agreement ends here. Your blessing is not waiting for your fear to approve it. The final blocker is not that the enemy is stronger than God. The final blocker is not that heaven forgot the promise. The final blocker is the old belief that you are safer outside the door than inside the room God prepared. That belief must break today. Take a breath. Let your shoulders drop. Something old is being named, so it can be removed. You are not being accused. You are being delivered from a survival pattern that kept you alive in one season, but would quietly sabotage you in the next. The fighter served you. Now the receiver must rise. This is why clarity matters now. Not surface clarity, not nervous overthinking, not trying to control every detail before you obey. I am speaking about the quiet inner signal that helps you know when God is guiding, when fear is interrupting, and when the enemy is using noise to make you mistrust a divine door. Earlier, I mentioned the genius song. Now you need to understand why it belongs in this moment. Many chosen ones do not have a faith problem. They have a clarity problem. Their spirit loves God, but their mind has been crowded by survival for so long that instruction feels buried under noise, fatigue, and old emotional alarms. The Genius Song is a simple 7-minute digital audio track. You listen through headphones, you sit down, you let the sound do what it was designed to do. It uses brain entrainment to support gamma brainwave activation, the kind of brainwave connected with focus, intuition, flow, and those sudden moments when truth becomes clear inside you. This is not about forcing a miracle. This is not about replacing prayer. This is not about pretending that a sound is stronger than God. It is about using a focus tool that can support the mind and help the inner signal become easier to recognize, especially when stress has trained you to live in mental noise. Dr. Robert Lake, a neuroscientist with 34 years of experience, helped shape this technology around the way sound can guide the brain into more useful patterns. Research around gamma activity has been studied by places like MIT, Princeton, Harvard, and other leading research universities. But this is not presented to overwhelm you with names. The point is simple. You were not created to live with a foggy mind and a muted spirit. You were not created to feel disconnected from your own discernment. You were not created to be brilliant as a child, then spend adulthood wondering why that brightness became buried. Many chosen ones know that ache very well. You remember being sensitive. You remember knowing things before people said them. You remember learning quickly, feeling deeply, creating easily, and sensing the atmosphere around you. Then life became heavy. Systems, stress, betrayal, pressure, and survival slowly trained your mind to scan for threats more than possibilities. That is not your true design. The Genius Song is framed for people like you. Not for everyone. Not for people who want noise for entertainment. It is for the ones who feel that their God-given inner signal became covered and who want a simple, daily way to support clarity without another complicated ritual, another long course, or another exhausting routine. You only need 7 minutes. No special posture, no perfect meditation, no mantra, no waking up before sunrise to prove your worth. Just headphones, a quiet place, and enough willingness to let the sound support the part of you that wants to become clear again. And you are not the only one who has felt this need. 18,366 people have used the Genius Song, and the strongest trust signal is not just that number. It is that less than 4% asked for a refund, which means the overwhelming majority kept using it beyond the guarantee window. That matters because quality matters more than hype. Anyone can say a tool is powerful, but when thousands use it and only a small percentage step away, that tells you something about the experience people are having. It does not mean every person feels the same thing at the same speed, but it does show a real pattern of trust. Now compare what many people try first. A meditation app can cost around $15 every month. A growth course can cost $100 to $200. A single therapy session can cost around $150. A spiritual retreat can run $400 to $800, and professional biofeedback sessions can cost around $300 each. Those things may help some people, but most of them do not target Gamma specifically. Most of them ask for more time, more money, more energy, or more emotional effort. The Genius song was created as a 7-minute audio with a one-time price, not another subscription pulling from you every month. The original price is $49, but for viewers of this message, the special access is $39. That is not positioned as a loud discount. It is positioned as an open door for the people who actually need it now, the ones standing near a blessing while trying to recover their focus, intuition, and peace. And it also comes with 4 bonuses. Genius Child is valued at $19. The Classic Book is valued at $20. Guided Visualization is valued at $29. The 5 Habit Infographic is valued at $12. Together, those bonuses add up to $80 in extra value. So the structure is simple. You receive the core technology Dr. Lake spent decades developing. You receive the 7-minute audio. You receive the 4 bonuses valued at $80. And instead of paying for repeated sessions, monthly apps, or large retreats, your access is $39 one time through the original path. There is also a 90-day money-back guarantee. You can use it, listen to it, and see how it supports you. If it is not right for you, you can request a refund. No complicated return is needed because it is digital, and even if you refund, you still keep all 4 bonuses as respect for your time. That removes the pressure. You are not being pushed into a corner. You are being given a protected path. The only question is whether your spirit feels peace around taking the next step. If it does not, keep listening and let this message work in you. If it does, you will know. But listen carefully. There are fake pages and copied products using the name. Some are just ordinary sounds without the real brain entrainment. Some do not include the 4 bonuses. Some do not protect you with the real guarantee. Do not search for it on Amazon, YouTube, Spotify, or random websites. The only safe path is the original link in the description and the pinned comment. That is where the real Genius song, the full bonus package, and the guarantee stay together. I am telling you this to protect you, because chosen ones must not be careless with tools meant for their next level. Now pause for one moment. Take one slow breath. Place your hand over your heart if that feels right. Do not decide from panic. Do not decide from pressure. Ask yourself quietly, do I still believe there is a God-given signal inside me that deserves to be clear again? If the answer is yes, your next step is simple. The original link is waiting in the description and pinned comment. Go there only through that path. Receive it with peace, not pressure. Receive it as a tool, not an idol. Receive it as support for the clarity you need while heaven brings you into position. Now come back to the message, because the blessing still needs to be sealed. The tool can support clarity, but your agreement with God must rise from your own spirit. Do not leave after the revelation. The old identity has been exposed. The door has been named. Now your spirit must answer from the new place. Chosen one, do not rush away from this moment. The revelation has already opened something in your spirit. The old identity has been exposed. The door has been named. Now, heaven is asking for your agreement. Not panic, not performance. Agreement. This is where you stop watching the blessing from a distance and begin standing like someone ready to receive. The massive blessing coming toward you does not need your fear to help it arrive. It does not need your anxiety to prove that you care. It does not need your overthinking to make it safer. God does not need you to carry the weight of what He has already chosen to release. He needs your posture to come into peace. So breathe again. Let the noise settle. Let the pressure loosen from your chest. You have spent too many seasons bracing for loss, preparing explanations, and trying to protect yourself from disappointment before anything even happened. That pattern ends now. The receiver in you is rising, and the survivor no longer has to lead every response. This is the word over your next season. You will not sabotage what God has sent. You will not shrink when favor finds you. You will not apologize for a door that heaven opened. You will not let old voices decide the size of your expectation. The blessing is not coming to embarrass you. It is coming to confirm you. Some of you will see the first sign through peace. Not money first. Not a public miracle first. Not a dramatic announcement first. Peace, a strange calm, will enter a place where fear used to live, and you will realize that God began the miracle inside before He let it appear outside. Others will see it through a call, a message, an invitation, or a sudden opening. Something that was delayed will begin moving with unusual ease. A person who could not decide will become clear. A door that seemed locked will respond, and you will know that heaven was not late. Heaven was arranging the right hour. Do not chase the sign. Stay positioned. The temptation after a word like this is to run into your own strength and try to force evidence. Do not do that. Let God be God. Let obedience be your part. Let peace be your guard. Let discernment be your lamp, and let patience protect the blessing from your impatience. Archangel Michael stands as a sign of protection, but you must still choose alignment. Protection does not mean carelessness. Favor does not mean reacting to everything. Blessing does not mean giving everyone access. You can be covered by heaven and still be called to guard your words, your peace, your focus, and your next yes. The next yes matters. You may not need to say yes to everything. You may need to say yes to silence, yes to rest, yes to a boundary, yes to a small instruction that looks ordinary but carries divine timing. God often hides the key inside simple obedience because pride looks for drama while faith hears the whisper. This is your instruction. Do not return to the old language. Stop saying, "Nothing ever works for me." Stop saying, "I always lose what I love." Stop saying, "Maybe I am not meant to receive." Those words are not humility. They are agreements with wounds. Your mouth must stop feeding what God is removing. Say this in your spirit. I receive what God has prepared for me. Say it slowly. I receive without guilt. I receive without fear. I receive without shrinking. I release the identity that only knew delay. I release the expectation of loss. I release the need to explain my blessing to people who were not assigned to carry it. Now let your heart answer. I am not forgotten. I am not rejected. I am not too late. I am not too damaged. I am not disqualified by what I survived. I am becoming stable enough to hold what God has released, and I will not let fear make me step away from the door. There is a holy strength entering you now. It is quiet, but it is real. It does not need to shout. It does not need to prove. It does not need to post everything, tell everyone, or defend every move. This strength knows that when heaven has spoken, the opinion of confusion loses authority. You are being sealed in peace, not sealed away from growth, not sealed away from correction, sealed away from panic, sealed away from counterfeit urgency, sealed away from the pressure to make decisions from wounds. The Father is teaching you how to move from rest, because your next season cannot be governed by exhaustion. The blessing will require maturity, but maturity does not mean heaviness. It means you can hold joy without becoming reckless. It means you can hold favor without becoming proud. It means you can hold increase without becoming afraid. It means you can let God be generous without assuming suffering must immediately follow. For those who have been praying about finances, may the locked place begin to loosen. May the delayed answer begin to move. May the idea, the offer, the client, the opportunity, or the provision come with clarity and peace. And may you have the wisdom to recognize divine provision even when it does not arrive in the package you expected. For those praying about relationships, may confusion lose its power. May counterfeit connections be exposed without destroying your heart. May true alignment feel peaceful, not chaotic. May you stop chasing people who need your light but resist your value. And may God bring the right people near with clean intentions and steady love. For those praying about purpose, may your next step become clear, not the whole staircase, just the next step. The assignment has not left you. The calling has not expired. The delay did not cancel your mantle. You are still carrying something heaven intends to use, and the hidden years were not wasted. Chosen one. Write ready in the comments if your spirit agrees with this word. Do not write it as a random word. Write it as agreement. Write it as a seal. Write it as a witness that the old identity will not answer the door anymore. Write it because heaven responds to agreement. And if this message found you at the exact hour your spirit needed confirmation, stay connected to this channel. Subscribe, because the next word may give language to the confirmation already forming around you. You are not here by accident. Your spirit is being guided through a sequence of divine instructions. Now receive this final blessing. May the peace of God guard your mind. May the protection of heaven surround your door. May every counterfeit path lose attraction. May every hidden trap lose access. May every delayed blessing assigned to your name move according to divine timing, divine order, and divine protection. You are not outside the promise anymore. You are standing at the threshold. The blessing is not far. It is at the door. Do not answer it as the wounded one. Do not answer it as the rejected one. Answer it as the chosen one who finally believes that God meant what he said. Your waiting was not wasted. Your tears were not ignored. Your silence was not empty. Your wilderness was not your grave. It was the place where God taught you how to carry what lesser seasons could not hold. Now stand still, stay aligned, keep your peace. Your massive blessing is coming, and this time you will be ready to receive.